everyone. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about our upcoming election tomorrow. We are voting on our Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice. So this is a really important election that we oftentimes don't think of. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about who our candidates are and kind of like what our Wisconsin Supreme Court system actually does and is responsible for. So in this election, the Supreme Court is composed of 7 justices. So once a justice is elected into our Wisconsin Supreme Court system, they stay a justice in our Wisconsin Supreme Court system for the next 10 years. So their term is rather long. So it's important that we have judges in there that are going to do the best for our state. So only one judge can be elected in a year, and this is like to help with things like sudden shifts in targeted areas for our electoral challenges. So we only can vote in one person each term that this comes about, and then that's due to like their views based on issues that we have come up in our state. So these issues would be like the death penalty and like bigger statewide issues like that could affect our state as a whole. So they just don't want like too many targeted shift changes in the state of Wisconsin. So we only have one person voted in each time that's available to happen. So the Wisconsin Supreme Court sits in its main hearing room in Madison, Wisconsin, but since 1993, it's been involved in the Justice for Wheels program. And so this is where the Supreme Court will travel to different areas in Wisconsin, and they'll hear different court cases. And the purpose of this program is to give people an opportunity to understand the operations of the Wisconsin Supreme Court and the court system itself. So the Wisconsin Supreme Court is responsible for handling things like case deciding. So they make sure that every case is independent of each other, so it's independent to the case itself. It's open, it's fair, it's efficient to resolution of disputes and in accordance with the federal and state constitution and laws. So a case might come to the Wisconsin Supreme Court if a party has lost a case in appeals court, and they can file a petition to be reviewed at the Wisconsin Supreme Court level. A party can ask the Supreme Court to bypass the Court of Appeals and take their case. A party can begin a case at the statewide significance level, so it would affect our state and everybody. And the Court of Appeals can ask them to take place in a court hearing as well. So they have administrative functions such as budgeting, long-range planning, information technology strategies, rules of pleading and practice, security and facilities management, juror uses and management, and court-connected alternatives to dispute resolutions. So they have regulatory functions to regulate the legal professions of Wisconsin as well. So all of this is extremely important to our state. So we want to get to know our candidates and what they're about as well. So we have 2 people right now running for the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and I'm just going to go in alphabetical order so you get a little understanding of who each of them is. So Brian Hagedorn, he is currently on the Wisconsin Court State of Appeals judge, and he is backed more by the conservatives. And Brian was the former chief legal counsel for Scott Walker. So I believe he did this for 5 years. Brian Hagedorn, he thinks that courts shouldn't engage in partisan politics, and as a judge says he looks at the law as it is written. He states that he doesn't ask questions about if the law is fair or unfair or who the little or big guy is. He looks at the case as the laws are written and as they are passed by our legislator. So whether they are passed by a Republican or a Democrat, he looks at how the law is written and tries not to consider either political value. Hagedorn attended law school at Northwestern University. He is a member of the State Bar of Wisconsin Bench Bar Committee. He's a regular speaker at schools, legal groups on the rule of law, legal writing, judicial philosophy, and more. And he has served as an assistant general on the Wisconsin Department of Justice, law clerk for Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Michael Gableman, an attorney in private practice at one of the top Milwaukee firms in the state of Wisconsin. Lisa Neubauer is also a candidate for our Wisconsin Supreme Court. And Lisa Neubauer is also on the Wisconsin Court of Appeals, and she is backed more by the Liberals. She was appointed chief judge in the Court of Appeals in 2015 and then again in 2018. Before becoming a judge, she was a Wisconsin litigation attorney. Lisa Neubauer says her judicial philosophy is very straightforward. She says there's no agenda, no ideology, and no predetermined outcomes. Everyone who comes to court in any forum should be confident that she will ensure our courts are fair, impartial, and independent. She attended law school at the University of Chicago and earned her bachelor's degree at the University of Madison. She has worked in law for over 30 years and the last 10 as an appeal court judge. She was a partner at Foley and Lander and chair of the firm's insurance dispute resolution practice group. She served as law clerk for Barbara Crabb and then chief judge on the U.S. State's District Court, Western District of Wisconsin. She is co-chair of the Wisconsin Bar Association Bench and Bar Committee, and she is recognized for her volunteer work and civic involvement, and she was just a recipient of the Association for Women's Lawyer Community Service Award. So neither party is affiliated with a particular political view, and they both kind of want to follow the laws as they are written. Well, not kind of, they do. They want to follow the laws as they are written. So this election is important that you kind of get out and get informed about who's running and what their beliefs are and where they came from, so that way you can get a better idea of who you want to vote for, because they're going to be on our Supreme Court system for the next 10 years. So it's really important. Thank you.